This is Gemara Metziah Daf Pei Vav. Again, apologies that we fell a drop behind. Hopefully we will catch up today and be back up posting a day or two in advance. And as well, a reminder, Torah anytime many of us consume, I like to use the word consume because that's literally what it is, consume our Torah from Torah anytime. Let's all try to give, whether it's a few dollars, a few $100, whatever it is. If every person gave a few dollars, the organization would be absolutely thriving to continue spreading Torah and helping us to learn together, b'siyata dishmaya. So we pick it up 5 lines from the bottom, bit more stories with the Heilige Rebbe. Shmuel Yarechina Asye de Rebbe. Shmuel Yarechina, that was his name. He was the Asye, the doctor of whom? Of Rebbe. Rebbe had a sickness in his eyes. Said Shmuel Yarechina, I'll put a sama, a medication in your eye. Rebbe said, it's not possible, I can't do it. So said Shmuel, I'll massage it in on your eye. Said Rebbe, Amle lo yachalna. Hu maisiv la, having maisiv le begufte disamne. So Shmuel Yerchinna put in the medicine tute be sadye under Rebbe's pillow, vistaye, and he was cured. And the medicine somehow passed through the pillow. It reminds a little bit of like a Vicks rub that maybe you could put in. It's so strong that it goes through. Says the Gemara, Rebbe felt bad, and Rebbe wanted to give smicha to Shmuel. Shmuel was an incredible Talmid Chacham. Rebbe wanted to give him smicha of love mistayim milsa, but lamaisa, it wasn't happening. It wasn't such a simple procedure. You had to get all the chachamim together to give him smicha, and it wasn't happening. So Amar Lei, so Shmuel said to Rebbe, "Lo litztayer mar, don't worry about it. Lidich hazili sifra adam arishain. I saw for myself the book of Adam Rishon in Ksiv Bey, and in the book of Adam Rishon it says Shmuel Yerchinna. Shmuel Yerchinna, as you move over to Peivav and Aleph, was Chachim Yitkirei. He should have the title of Chacham of Talmid Chacham. Rebbe lo Yitkirei, but it should not have the title of Rebbe. Va'asa de Rebbe al Yadei Tehei. And Rebbe's cure will come through him. So in this book of Adam Rishon, it said over there, and Shmuel reassured Rebbe, don't worry. It said there, I have the title of Chacham, that's enough. And therefore, don't feel bad that you're not able to give me smicha. Continues the Gemara on the second line, Rebbe Rav Nosson Seif Mishnah. Rebbe and Rav Nosson, some more details in the book of Adam Rishon, are the end of Mishnayis. Rav Ashi and Ravina are Seif Hayra. The end of Paskining, V'simanech Adavay al Mikdashi al Avina lachrisam. That what till I came to the Mishkan of Hashem, the Beis Hamikdash, Avina I understood achrisam, their end. So that was Rebbe and that was Shmuel. Says the Gemara, Amar Rav Kahana, 4 lines down, continuing the theme of the greatness of different Tanayim Amarayim. Ishtai li Rav Chama bar Barate. Chasa, Rav Chama, the son of the daughter of Chasa, told the following to me: Rabbi Bar Nachmani, Agav Shemada Noch Nafshei, passed away because he was afraid of Shemad. He was afraid of the government persecuting him. Achla Beikorta, says the Gemara, they brought him to the palace. Bei Malka of the king in Amru. They said, Chad Gav Rabbi Yehuda, there's one Yid, Kamavat Trace Alpha Government Israel, that he's causing 12,000 Yidden from Klal Yisrael to be batal. What does it mean to be batal? It means that they can't give anything to the king. Yarcha Bekaita, a month in the summer, V'yarcha Besifta, and a month in the winter, Mikarga de Malka, from the tax of the king, because of course they used to give the Yarchei Kala in the summer and in the winter before Pesach and before Rosh Hashanah. And Rabbi Bar Nachmani would give to 12,000 people. So what do? Shadrei Pristika Demalka Basrei. They sent a royal emissary after Rabbi Nachmani V'la'ashkechei. They couldn't find him. Arak V'azal B'Bavdisa. Rabbi Nachmani ran going from Bavdisa La'akra Ume'akra la'agma, ume'agma l'shchen, ume'shchen l'srifa, ume'srifa le'ina, demayim, ume'ina demayim l'pompedisa, b'pompedisa ashkeche. So finally, after all this chase in the Pompedisa, they found Rabbi Nachmani. Iklam Pristika Demakahu Shpiza de Rabba. What happened? The royal emissary traveled to the inn of Rabba, and he didn't know that Rabbi Nachmani was staying there. Krivu Takakamei. They brought a table in front of him. Vish Ku Trey Kasi. And what happened? They brought him 2 cups to drink. Vidalye Lataka Mikamayu. And then they removed the table. Hadar Parasufe Lachayre. His face turned backwards. Amrulay, they said, to Rabbi Nachmani, Maina. What can we do for him? It seemed to happen is that this is the topic of Zugais, that by drinking things in pairs, it could harm a person. So this royal person drank 2 cups, and his face turned around. So they asked Rabbi Nachmani, what should we do? Gavra Demalko. And this guy, where we heard him. So Amr Lei, Nachmani said, Karibu Takali Kamayu, bring the table again in front of him. Veshkayu Achad Kasa. Bring him 1 more cup, remove the table, and then Mikamayu from in front of him, and he'll be cured. Of the Lehachi, so he listened to him, and he was cured. Omar, so this guy, again, this is the soldier, this is the guards that have been chasing Rabbi Nachmani. And Amar, he said, it must be that the person, the Gavra Dika, the person I'm looking for must be here. They realized that it must have been Rabbi Nachmani that told them what to do. He searched after him. He found him. Amar, he said, I'm going to leave and I'm not going to tell anyone. Why? Because you saved my life. Even if they kill myself to find out where you are, he had so much gratitude to Rabbi Nachmani, he said, I'm not going to reveal where you are. However, if they hit me, I'll be forced to reveal where you are. We find similar in the Gemara of Adazara about Chanani, Mishael, Azariah, that if they would have been hit, then they would have revealed, they would have succumbed. We see from over here that sometimes a prolonged issue could be more painful than even an acute, much more devastating blow. So says the Gemara, so at the end of the day, they brought Bar Nachmani in front of him, meaning they found him. They brought him up to the chamber, and they locked him in a room in the palace. So what does Bar Nachmani do? He davens. Parakashita, the wall that he was in, fell. Arak va'azal lagma. He ran away into a swamp. Haviyosef agirda didikula. He was sitting on the stump of a decal of a palm tree of a kagaris, and he was learning. There was a machlekes in heaven at that moment. Again, Rabbi Nachmani was captured by the king. He davens, the wall falls, he runs away, and he's sitting and learning. And at the moment that Rabbi Nachmani is learning, there's a machlekes in Shemayim. In Baheres kodemes l'seir lavan tameh, v'im seir lavan kodem leBaheres tar. What is the story? Baheres comes before the white hair, it's tameh. White hair comes first, it's tar. Safek, what if we're not sure which one came first? HaKadosh Baruch Hu amar tar, v'kulam misef d'derkiya amri tameh. Whatever this means, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is having a machlekes with the misef d'derkiya. V'amru, and they said in heaven, Ma noichach. Who's going to be the one to decide? Noichach, Rabbi Bar Nachmani. Rabbi Nachmani will decide. Rabbi Nachmani, ani yachid ben negayim. I'm a singular expert in negayim. Ani yachid ba'ayalais in the 4th white line. Shadur shlicha basrei. So the heavenly Mesivta Derakia sent a shliach to Rabbi Nachmani. Lavimatzi malach hamavis lemikarvele. But the malach hamavis couldn't get close to him. Why? As we've seen about David HaMelech, because he didn't stop learning Torah, and as long as he was learning Torah, The Malach HaMavis couldn't touch him. Adachi Nashav Zika. So what happened? A wind blew v'avish beinei kanei and made a loud noise amongst the reeds. Savar. So Rabbi Nachmani heard it and he thought, Gunda de Pareshu. He thought that it was the king coming to arrest him. Amar, he said, he said, let that person, of course, referring to himself, let him be nifter. V'lo yimaser biyadam. The malchusa not be given over to the government. Ki ave kanaycha nafshei. As he was being nifter, Amar, he said, Tar. He said, what's the story of a suffix? Ba'eres ir lavan. Yatzabaskal v'amra shrecho Rabba bar Nachmani. Sheikufach tar. Praiseworthy is Rabbi Nachmani, your body is tar, v'yatan ishmascha, bitar, and your soul departed with the word tar. Incredible, Rabbi Nachmani paskening for the Mesifta de Rekia, Naval Pitka Merikia. A Pitka fell down from heaven, Bumbedisa, and it said, Rabbi Nachmani nitbakesh b'yeshiva shalmayla. Rabbi Nachmani has been requested in the yeshiva shalmayla, nafko abaye v'rabba rava v'kulu rabbana l'asuke bei. Abaye Rava and other rabbana went to attend him, went to bury him. Laviyade dochtev, they didn't know where Rabbi Nachmani was. Azla le'agma, they came to the swamp. Chazas hipara, the metaltali v'kaime, they saw birds that were hovering over an area, putting shade over it. Amri, they said, Shemamina Hasamu, must be the Rabbi Nachmani is there, and they found the body. Saftua, they were maspid Rabbi Nachmani for 3 days, for 3 days and 3 nights, Naval Bitka, another note fell from heaven. Kol HaPayresh, Yehebenidi. Anyone who stops, anyone who leaves the eulogies should be put in Chayrim. So they were now maspedim for 7 days. Nafal Pitka, and the note came down from heaven. L'chul lebeitchem l'shalom. Go home in peace. On that day, the Rabbi Nachmani was nifter. Dalye zayfe v'dari lahutayo ki rochiv gamla. A wind blew and lifted up a certain Arab as he rode a camel. Mahigisa the Nahar Papa from one side of Nahar Papa, Vishadi Bakisa, and deposited on the other side of the river. Amar, the Arab said, my eye, what in the world is going on? Amruleh, they told the Arab, Noch Navshei, the Rabbi Nachmani. Amar Lefanov, the Arab said, Rebbeinu Shalaylam, Kulei Alma Didach. The whole world is yours. Rabbi Nachmani Didach, and Rabbi Nachmani is yours. At the Rabba v'Rabba Didach. You are Rabbas, and Rabba is yours. Amai kamecharvis leila alma. Why are you destroying the world? Nach Zaife, and the wind calmed down. Rav Shimon ben Tachlifa, and we conclude this story. Baal Basar Have was very large. Have Chad, Yom Echad, Have Chamim Alei was very hot day. Have Salik, V'Yasef Ashtina Detura. He was sitting on top of a mountain. Amar the Brate, he said to his daughter, Biti Anifi Alai B'Menifa, my daughter, wave your fan on me. Vani Etein Lacha, and I'm going to give you Kikr and Dinari and a bunches of nerd. Adachi Nasha Zika, wind blew. Amar Kama Kikar and Diner Lamare Dichi. How much I have to give the Mari Dichi, saying to Kadosh Baruch Hu how grateful he was for the wind that blew. And that was the fascinating, incredible story of Rabbi Bar Nachmani, Just to quickly point out in that incredible story, let's remember, in the case of a suffix Toma on the second very wide line, what happened? HaKadosh Baruch Hu Amar Tahar, Mesifta Derakia said Tameh. Rabbi Nachmani was nifter with the word Tahar. And yet, what's the Kayach HaTaira? You open up the Rambam and you know what he passed? It's Tameh! Says the Kesef Mishnah, why Rabbi Nachmani? Loi Bashamayim, he paskined on the way up to heaven, Tairas for this world, even against Kaviyachal, whatever that means, the Psak of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and Rabbi Bar Nachmani. Continues the Gemara called Keminag Medina. Back into our Mishnah, 4 lines at the bottom, that everything goes with the Minhag Medina. Kol Asuyei Ma'il Asuyei V'Asa Nihigi Mikrach Rifta Mishta. In a place where the custom is to eat bread and drink anifta, mishta anifka, excuse me. De'i amar lo kadimi v'aisi lechu. So if someone says, go work and I'm going to bring you to amru loy kol keminach. That is not, you can't do that. You have to give us to eat first. Ma'aser Yechanan ben Masya sham lemenai seuschar, go and hire me. Says the Gemara, the Mishnah doesn't really make any sense. Meiser Lister, we bring down a story to contradict what we said in the Mishnah. Says with his words missing. And we stipulated to give them food. As we turn over to Beivava Midbeis Ribalahen, that means he's giving them more than was usual. Umaise Nami. Rav Yochanan ben Masya, and as well, there was a story with Rav Yochanan ben Masya that what Shamar lebenoi, that Rav Yochanan ben Masya tells his son to go hire for him workers. Shamar lebenoi saves early. His father said, even if you give them such an incredible suda, even still, if you just say we're going to feed you, it does not suffice. So says the Gemara, 1 second. The Mishnah seemed to say a Suda Shleima b'Shaitai, and even if you were to give them a Suda of Avram Avinu, it wouldn't be enough. Says the Gemara, so it sounds like Avram Avinu is even a greater Suda than Shleima HaMelech. Ask the Gemara of Aksev, 10 lines down, V'lechem Shleima li'yom echad, Shleishim kor seiles, that 1 day's bread for Shleima HaMelech was 30 kor of fine flour, V'shishim bar kemach, and 60 kor of other types of flour. Asara bakar briim, 10 fat oxen, Vasara bakar roi, and 10 Asara baki briim, Asara baki reyu, meyat soin, and 100 sheep, levad me'ayel utzvivi achmar, revivim avusim. So aside from all the other animals that he ate. V'amar Gurion ben Astiyoin. And one time Gurion ben Astiyoin said, Mishvid Rav, halalu la'amelim shel tabachim. These, all that which he said, are just for the amilim shel tabachim, the dough of the cook. Rav Yitzchak amar halalu l'tziki kedera. These are merely for one dish. Famously, we all know Shleima HaMelech had none less than 1,000 wives. 1 second, you can't see the page. 1,000 wives, and each and every one of his 1,000 wives would prepare these lavish meals. My timer, you know why? Maybe the king will eat with me today. So she made this incredible suda. And that's a suda of Shleimai. And yet, Avram, what do we find by Avram? Avram 3 animals. So says the Gemara, how can you tell me that Avram Avinu's suda was greater? Answers the Gemara, Hasa by Avram Avinu, Tlasa Turit and Tlasa Gavri. 3 animals for 3 people. Shleima HaMelech was feeding everyone. Shenemar, Yehuda v'Yisrael Rabim, Kechol Asher Al Hayam. Therefore, indeed, it could be that the suda of Avram Avinu was greater. Says the Gemara, some of the items that we listed by Shleima HaMelech, Maiber, Buvim, Avusim, what were those types of animals? Amar Rav, Sha'if Sedasab Al Karchan, they force-fed the hens, fattening them up, Ushmol Amar Shavusim, Va'im Dem Me'aleim, that what? They became fat on their own. Rav Yochanan Amar Mevi'in Tor Mimar Ite, they bring an ox from its pasture, below honest, that was never worked, just sat there, ate and got quite fat. Tarnigolas me'ashbasa, and tarnigolas from its roots, but deloy anisa, where it was never coerced to raise chickens again, never exerting any energy, and therefore the ultimate plump, fat, and wonderful, tender type of food. Amar Rav Yochanan Movchar Shebehemot, the greatest of animals, the shar. Movchar Shebehaiva is the tarnigolas. Amar Amemar Zikta Ochmasa Beibatanisa, a large stomach black hen. the mishacha b'nei atri, which is found between the wine presses, the loy matzia pisya kane, that cannot even step over its own reed. This incredibly fat chicken, the hen, is the type of animal referred to as the barburim. Avram, the first medium-sized lion, explains the Gemara. What does it mean that Avram Avinu ran to the bakar? Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav Ben Bakar Echad Rach Shnayim. Excuse me, Ben Bakar is Echad Rach is Shnayim. V'toiv Shleish Avim Echad. Maybe it just means one. Kedamri Inchi Rachich V'toiv. As people talk and they say it should be Rachich, it should be soft and tender. In Kain Lechtav Rach Toiv, my V'toiv. Shmai L'Drasha. So Ema Trey, maybe it doesn't mean two. But the Toiv L'Drasha Rach Naim L'Drasha. So that's what we know, that there were three animals. Masir Rabbi Ula, as Rabbi Ula on the first very wide line. V'itema Rabbi Yisha, V'itema Rabbi Nassim Rabbi Yishia, V'yitin Alanar, V'yamaher. He gave to the child and he ran to do it. Kol Chad V'chad Yaveh Lenar. Says the Gemara. Kol Chad V'chad Yaveh Lenar Echad. He gave each one to one child to prepare. Yaveh Lenar Chad. Continues the Gemara, and he took all this wonderful food and he placed it in front of them. Kama demati, as each one became ready, he served it. That's why it says he brought a calf. There were three. He brought one at a time. Why did he need three animal taski b'chad? One should be enough. To be able to feed three tongues in mustard. Each one got their own tongue in mustard. Therefore, he needed three animals. The fourth very wide line, a person should not change from the minhag of his surroundings. He didn't eat, because in Shemayim you don't eat. Malachei Hashares yardu lemata v'achlu, and they ate lechem. V'achlu salgedaitzach. Really? You think Malachim ate? Aleim, you know what it means? Niru kemisha achlu. B'shasu, and as if they ate and drink. Amar Vidam Rav Kol Mashas Avram. Lemalachei Hashares be'atzma yasa. HaKadosh Baruch Hu lebanav ba'atzma. Everything Avram Avinu did by himself, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to do it by himself. Anything Avram Avinu did with a shliach is a Kadosh Baruch Hu lebanav al yidei shliach, and explains the Gemara. Hashem provided an incredible wind that blew through Kaisal. This is by Kriyas Yamsuf. Hashem gave us the man. Avram Avinu stood on them and served them. Says the pasuk that says Hashem, I am going to stand before you by the rock. Hashem traveled in front of them by day. Says Avram Avinu, take a little bit of water. Says the pasuk, and Moshe Rabbeinu, you should hit the rock. And the people should drink. So says the Gemara, here we see that Avraham Avinu said, "Yukach nomad mayim." He didn't do it on his own. So Moshe Rabbeinu had to provide the water, and this is the plea of Rav Chanina. Why? Damar Rav Chanina of Chidam Yishmael. Beschar shleisha zachar shleisha. Beschar chama v'chalav. Of Avraham Avinu zachar laman. Beschar v'oimin aleim zachar lamod. Ha'ana on the clouds. Beschar yikulam amayim zachar leber shel Miriam. So says the Gemara. So that's the machlekes, whether it was a schos or whether it was a punishment, because Avraham Avinu didn't do it on his own. Yukach naman mayim v'rachel to raglechem, wash your feet. Amar Rav Yanai, we're 12 lines on the bottom. The first one on line is raglechem. Amar Rav Yanai, Rav Yishmael, Amar Lai v'chibar bayim chashatanu. Do you suspect that for hours they have to wash our feet? Shei mishtachavin lavak raglechem, they bow to their dust their feet. Faryatzu and Yishmael. V'yari lav Hashem elani mamrei. So, excuse me, so the Gemara answer is yes. Kfar Yasmin Yishmael. With already is Yishmael, so that's why you've told them to wash their feet. He's sitting at the end of his tent. I'm in the heat of the day. It was the third day of the meal of Avram Avinu. And Avram Baruch Hu came to ask how Avram Avinu was doing. Hashem took out the sun from its sheath. Hashem made it extremely active. He didn't want any guests to come. Avram Avinu sent Eliezer to go look for people to invite. Couldn't find any guests. Amar said Avram Avinu, I don't believe you. It can't be that there's no one. This is what it means that there's no trust in a servant. Not like you. So Avram Avinu himself went out to look for guests. And he finds Hashem waiting at his door. I knew that's what the pasuk means. 6 lines from the end of this. As the pasuk says, please don't leave from your servant. As soon as he saw Avram Avinu was tying and untying his bandages, Hashem said, it's not good manners to stay here. And similarly we find there are 3 bandits standing upon him. He saw and he ran across them. First, angels came to him. It's not appropriate to be here. And then they left, and Avram Avinu had to run after them. These 3 people, Michael, Gabriel, or Raphael. Michael came by, 3 lines from the bottom. Tell Shari's needed to have a child. Raphael's brother Rafim is Avram, Til Avram, Gabriel, Azlam, Abecha, Sedaim. Vaksiv. But the pasuk says 2 people went to Sedaim, 2 malachim, Berev. Tazal Michal, Badei Michal went with him, L'shazvi l'light, to take light away. Dekanami dersev yavich esarim ukel, v'loik sev hayev chus. It was really just 1 malach. It was really just Gabriel that turned over Sedaim. But Michal was there to save the family of Lot. Shmamina. Avram asked Gemara, why by Avram Avinu does the sev d'chsev kin ta'aseh k'shedibar? To Ma'ishal Gabi loy d'chsev vayifatzer, as we turn over to Beis and Aleph, and he vayifatzer ba me'oidi to urge him Adam Rav Lazar mikan shemisarvin lekata and vein misarvin lekata. We learn from here you can refuse someone small, but you can't refuse someone great, and therefore they listened to the request of Avram Avinu right away. Pasuk says, Avram Avinu made them, I'll give you a little bit of bread. And then it says, Avram, Amar Rav Elazar, and with this we conclude 4 lines into Beis and Aleph, the famous Maimer Chazal. Amar Rav Elazar, Mikan, we learn from over here, Shazadikim Maimer Ma'at. Vaisim Harbe, and they do a lot. Whereas Rishayim, Maimrim Harbe, Vafilu Ma'at, Einon, Oisim, Rishayim don't even do a little bit. We'll pick it up from here, B'siyata Dishmaya.